With Star Wars Episode 9 serving as the final film of the Skywalker saga and the sequel trilogy itself by writer and director J.J. Abrams, a lot of things are to be expected in this movie. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one great thing about this film is that not only is JJ and Chris Terrio tying this movie into the prequel trilogy and into the original trilogy, as well as cherry-picking from both the expanded universe and Star Wars Legends, but he will be also doing something very special for both the characters of Luke Skywalker, Lando Calrissian, and Leia, serving the legacy characters in a very unique way in Episode 9. So, looking at Star Wars as a whole, a lot of people have been wondering about Anakin Skywalker and his role in this movie. Now, sure, we've been hearing about this character and his involvement in Episode 9's plot these past couple of months or so, on and off, and a lot of people have been talking about this. Now, recently there's been a rumor, and do take this as a rumor, it's a very interesting one at that, is that Hayden Christensen was within the vicinity of Pinewood Studios in the UK, and of course Cardington, which is, by the way, yet another filming location for Episode 9. Now, this also would match directly up with J.J. Abrams wanting Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars The Force Awakens, though unfortunately that did not turn out to be the case because, you know, they ran into problems of putting him in the movie and they just couldn't do it. So originally J.J. Abrams wanted to have Anakin in The Force Awakens, and then we had Rian Johnson come into play in The Last Jedi, where he actually brought in Yoda. Now, ironically, JJ was going to do Yoda in The Force Awakens. That, too, did not work out. So, with J.J. Abrams back for Star Wars Episode 9 now, we can only expect him to do amazing things with this movie, original concepts from The Force Awakens making their way into Episode 9. Now, the thing that's really interesting to me is Hayden Christensen being within the area of Pinewood Studios and Cardington. Does this necessarily mean that he was filming and or doing some dialogue in studio for a Star Wars film? Not necessarily, but it is a big hint that he could very well be involved right now with Star Wars Episode 9. It is very interesting for sure. A lot of people have been talking about this these past 3 days or so, and Hayden Christensen being involved in Episode 9 is something that I think would really bring a lot of the fans together from the prequels, the originals, and the sequels, and just new fans generally, and also introducing Anakin Skywalker to new fans as well. Again, the sequel trilogy is attracting a lot of new audiences, and, you know, a lot of new Star Wars fans, and a lot of these guys, I've heard people say this before, when they went to go ahead and see The Force Awakens for the very first time, and then they wanted to learn more about Kylo Ren's grandfather, and so they actually went to go ahead and watch the original trilogy to learn about that mysterious melted helmet figure, which of course was Darth Vader. So it's an interesting, you know, way of how people go ahead and see the Star Wars movies now, because the sequels are attracting new fans of this franchise, even though I believe that the sequel trilogy does need some improvement after The Last Jedi, which I do have faith in J.J. Abrams. I'm crossing my fingers, and we'll have to wait and see exactly what he does. But as far as Anakin Skywalker, Hayden Christensen being involved in Episode 9, that is one hell of a thing to look forward to. Now, everybody found it very odd as to why they invited Hayden Christensen out to Star Wars Celebration, I believe it was last year, for the first time in, what was it, 13 or 12 years or something like that. It's been a very long time since he even attended. I can't even remember how many years it was. And they had him attend, I believe it was last year, and a lot of people were talking about it and why they're starting to invite him to Star Wars Celebration now. So J.J. Abrams, you know, he's doing a lot of things by tying this movie together, and with the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy elements coming into Episode 9, that's another thing that I think is going to make this movie very special, and the fact that it's going to be the final Skywalker saga film. So Hayden Christensen being near those two filming locations, it's a very interesting thing in my mind at least. Yes, it's not a full confirmation that Anakin Skywalker is actually going to be in the movie per se. We have been hearing about, you know, different descriptions of his involvement in this movie, and hopefully it does actually work out, because J.J. Abrams, you know, he could always change things if he really wants to. But Hayden Christensen, guys, I'm not quite sure if he's filming right now or whatever he's doing, but this is is most definitely a hint as to his involvement in the movie for sure. But anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.